What's up, y'all? I'm gonna try to make this video quick because my family's right now I'm grilling and my family's gonna come out in a little bit. But I wanted to give you guys my experience on semen retention. So yesterday I just had a wet dream. It sucks, bro, but everything is a challenge. Everything is for you to an obstacle for you to get over. But yesterday, like I said, I had the wet dream. But the days before yesterday is when I started fully getting into like my energy, like getting my being highly energetic. Let's just say that. So, I lost my train of thought. So, I was like, anytime, like the days before yesterday, I was waking up, off of like a couple hours of sleep. I wouldn't say a couple, I'll say like maybe like 6 hours. And I would sit there and clean the whole house. I would sit there and, take care of my business. I was in a happier mood. I didn't feel like depressy. It's easier for me to control myself, like control my emotions and, just like connect with myself better. It's like I wasn't letting thoughts like sit there and come in between me and my peace. I could sit there and be like, nah, get out of my way. It's like you have more energy to control the functions of your body, I guess you could say. Like you can control your brain to a certain extent. Like it's like things won't beat on you as much. It's like your mental, like all the little thoughts that come and sit there and you dwell on and all that stuff, you can control your thoughts and be like, no, I'm not thinking about that. It's easier to do that when you have the energy to do it. But last night I had the wet dream. And I'm sorry if I'm talking so fast and stuff. Like I said, I'm trying to get this out of the way before my family come. But yesterday I ended up having a wet dream. When I woke up this morning, bro, it was like I felt like I didn't feel like getting out of the bed. I was laying there, I slept a little longer. I woke up and it's like things were getting to me, like it's like anytime I feel like I have like sex or anything, it's like my brain is just looking for that dopamine, so we'll start looking at females and all that BS. And that happened today, bro. Like things like some girl had her nipples out. I mean, not literally her nipples out, but she didn't have a bra on, and that was the first thing that caught my eye. But usually when I'm on my like semen retention journey, it's like I don't pay none of that stuff any attention. But as soon as that happened, that was the first thing that caught my eye, and I'm over here beating myself up about it. I'm like, bro, why am I dehumanizing somebody, basically? That's one thing I've been learning, like trying to practice lately, is not dehumanizing people. It's like a good way to sit there and not dehumanize people is to talk to people. Sit there, because when you don't know somebody, well, this is my thoughts, this is just my experience, but when you don't know somebody, it's easier to sit there and wrong them, I guess you can say. It's easier to sit there and, not care about them. But once you sit there and shake somebody's hand, look them in the eye, and like, have a little conversation with them, get to know them, it's you don't look at them as like let's say for instance a female, you don't look at them as a sex object. I guess, I mean, that I don't know, man. Like I said, it's just my thoughts, and I feel like with life, you're not here to listen to other people. You can take what they say with a grain of salt, but you need to sit there and dwell inside yourself and figure out what's best for you, what's best for your life, what brings you up, what keeps you happy, and different things like that. We're all here for information. Everything is a theory. Let's just say that. So like I said, the semen retention journey, it sucks right now that I had a little, I guess you could say, a relapse. I don't want to sit there and say a wet dream. I don't know why I feel bad saying that. I feel lame saying that, but I had a relapse. So that relapse is it's just an obstacle. I'm going to get over it. It's just you just got to let these days build and, get your streak back and watch the energy come. I haven't really been over 2 months before, but I know when I was at 2 months, I felt like a god. Nothing was breaking my peace. I could walk around and focus on myself. I could sit there, it didn't matter what happened, I was focusing on myself. I still had my problems and stuff, but it was easier to work out my issues when I start overthinking about, if I don't know, just like BS, bro. Like I'll sit there and start overthinking if I look good, if I'm beside, some female or something, even though I know I'm married, bro, but it's like, it's just, I don't know why I do it, but I don't know. That's me being vulnerable to you guys. Like, it's just issues that I deal with, and it's like, I don't like them at all. I hate overthinking. I hate overthinking about BS, and it's probably from my childhood trauma. I know it's most likely from my childhood trauma, about my skin disorder and stuff like that when I was growing up. But everything is an obstacle. You know, you're gonna overcome everything in this world. You know, you just gotta stay focused and trust God. You know, I'm not depressy, I'm not suicidal. Whenever, you know, I get in those points, I just get very frustrated and want to be alone when I can't figure things out. I like to sit there and meditate and, you know, write in my notebook and try to figure out things that beat me, you know. So I hope you guys have a good day. I hope that really wasn't all over the place. You know, I try not to force myself to make these videos. I try to like wait until I have, you know, some good information to bring you guys, instead of like coming and just, you know, just talking. You know, I don't know. I need to stop saying I don't know, but it's just me. Only thing I can be is authentically me. So you guys have a good day or a good night. I don't think I burnt these burgers. They haven't been on there that long. But you guys have a good day. Let's keep elevating, and I'll talk to y'all later.